What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a new Madden 23 realistic rebuild. With the help of realistic college draft classes, we are going to try and win a Super Bowl with the LA Chargers within a 5-year period. Now, the Chargers are in a very interesting spot. There's a reason why I wanted to do this rebuild. I mean, we're at the nitty-gritty of the rebuild season here in Madden, where we're now rebuilding the teams that are very good and don't need much of a rebuild. We did a Bengals rebuild on the weekend. Go check that out. It was pretty fun. Our offense was ridiculous, and even though that team was ridiculously overpowered, we didn't have any postseason success whatsoever. So we're running it back here with another very good team. Have your franchise quarterback in place. You have a good mix of young playmakers. Rashawn Slater's very good. You have Justin Herbert, who's very good. And you have your veterans, Corey Lindsey at center, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. On the defensive side, we'll look at that in just one second. They brought over Eric Kendricks from the Minnesota Vikings. You got Khalil Mack, Bosa, Derwin James, J.C. Jackson. There are players that make this roster very, very, very good, but it doesn't mean postseason success is guaranteed. So the big question right now, and it's something that we're going to explore to make it a little bit more difficult, Austin Ekeler's on the trade block in real life, and we're going to have to do the same here. He wants more money, and the Chargers are pretty much in limbo right now because they have to pay Justin Herbert. Now, to start this video, I did pick up the 5th-year option for Justin Herbert, so we don't have to pay him right away, but it is coming, and it is going to be ridiculously expensive. I've always been a Justin Herbert fan. I remember when he was coming out, I was early. I was one of probably the first people to make draft content on YouTube. Like when I started making stuff like that, it wasn't really nearly as big of a space as it was right now. And, becoming a parent, that was really like the thing that I had to kind of cut out of my work life. I was like, all right, if I want to be the daily Madden rebuild guy, which is, what I am, I wasn't going to be able to study film and become, pro-am scout on YouTube full-time kind of deal. But I still watch an insane amount of college football. I love talking about prospects. I love kind of having my guys. And when Justin Herbert was coming out of Oregon, he was a very polarizing player. Some people thought he was legit. Other people thought he was overrated. And I've always been in the camp of Justin Herbert is very much legit. And he is going to be monumental for us in this rebuild if we're going to be able to go on and win a Super Bowl. Defense. We saw the offense. Defense is kind of the same as the offense. Good mix of young and old. J.C. Jackson, Kenneth Murray, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr. Those are all guys that could very well become fixtures in this 5-year rebuild. They're not going anywhere. They're only going to get better, and they're going to have to carry the load. But we also have some old players. Kendricks, we got Khalil Mack. Like these guys here are at their highest their rating's going to be in this rebuild. They're only going to go down. They're very expensive, and we're going to have to, also develop that front three a little bit. So it's not going to be a super easy rebuild. But anytime you have like a Justin Herbert in place, you still feel pretty optimistic that you're going to have to just do a complete botch job and to not win a Super Bowl. But we're going to start this rebuild the only way I know how to make it a little more interesting. Austin Ekeler, let's find you a trade partner. So as always, when you use the Madden Trade Finder, you're going to get a lot of ridiculous offers. Like, yes, I would trade Austin Ekeler for Tariq Woolen or George Pickens. Like, that's something that's not realistic. Like, Amon-Ra St. Brown's not coming for Austin Ekeler. They're not getting Brandon Ayuk. He might be, maybe. But then again, they got Christian McCaffrey, but they wouldn't do that. But I actually found one that made a little bit of sense, even though it is faux pas to be trading within your division. He, much like Austin Ekeler, has been apparently, if you trust football Twitter and football media, on the trade block. And it's a position that we could definitely use a potential upgrade at. It's Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos, their running back room's uncertain. They don't know. Like, Javonte Williams is coming back from a rough injury. And even with that, Javonte Williams is like your power back. Someone like Austin Ekeler would make a lot of sense there in Denver to kind of handle the role of like an Alvin Kamara, which is what they're trying to get. And then someone like Jerry Jeudy, it seems like the Broncos are trying to strip, one of Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton. They want to try to ship one of those guys away. So if this is the offer, I get Jerry Jeudy, I get Benito, who's very underrated. Remember back in Pink Slips, he's one of those guys. We're probably not going to utilize him a whole lot because he's going to be behind Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. But Nick Benito is one of the best sub-75 overall pass rushers in this game. Let's do it. Let's do it. So now we have a wide receiver room of the aging but still very good Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and now we can throw Jerry Jeudy into the slot. It pains me a little bit because he is going to take the spot of the Canadian Josh Palmer. And I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for the Chargers anyways when I was getting into football. Like, when I was getting into football, that was like peak LaDainian Tomlinson, which was absolutely awesome. You love seeing that. But the Chargers have employed like more Canadians on their roster than like any team that I remember in recent memory. Like they have a bunch of like between practice squad and main roster. Josh Palmer, they've had that guy, I'm not even gonna butcher his name, but he's Canadian. Leonard is Canadian. They've had some like linemen that are Canadian. So I've always appreciated, always had a little bit of soft spot for the Chargers, even though having two teams in LA made me also despise them. And I started like, come on, man, put it somewhere that they actually would be appreciated. But either way, the trade has been completed. Austin Ekeler is gone. Jerry Jeudy is a Charger. Let's get to the draft. So if you're not getting Bijan Robinson, this kind of feels like the move to make. It's ironically enough the top fit for our squad. And after running a 4.3 at the combine, Jahmyr Gibbs has definitely made himself known to being a first-round caliber running back prospect. And I just feel like given our team's needs, I'm into it. I'm into it for sure. And he's a hell of a playmaker. Let's go. RB1. Jahmyr Gibbs takes over for Austin Ekeler. In the second round, we're going to draft Jalen Duncan here, left tackle, more so to kick him to right tackle. Trey Pipkins is butt cheeks. So Jalen Duncan likely will be a starting right tackle rookie. So take a look at our draft recap. Outstanding value here in Jahmyr Gibbs, 78 hidden dev receiving back. So like immediately, even though it's not a scheme fit, which it's ridiculous that the Chargers have a scheme fit of power back, given Austin Ekeler has been their running back forever now. But Jahmyr Gibbs is, I think you could argue most Charger fans, if you put this scenario in, where it's like, all right, you can either pay Austin Ekeler more money at 28, which however good he's been, however much the blinders are on because he's amazing. It's been awesome for you guys. Big picture, from a non-biased perspective, Jahmyr Gibbs and Jerry Jeudy is going to do a lot more for the Chargers than having an expensive aging Austin Ekeler. It's just the brutal, honest truth of the running back position. So Jahmyr Gibbs, day one starter for us is going to be awesome. Jalen Duncan, I kicked him over to right tackle. He's 72, day one starter. I got Jaquelin Roy, depth on the defensive line in the third round. Luke Schoonmaker, very athletic tight end out of Michigan. Even though Bengal didn't give him the best athletic traits. I think he has a ridiculous RAS score. But I still will take a 70 overall tight end in the fourth round. It's just depth. And then I got a depth center as well. But two brand new starters, first and second round for the Chargers on the offensive side of the ball. Let's get into year one. All right, started this video off by saying it's going to be an easy rebuild, and we're 3-7 in our first season. 85s across the board. Not sure why. I know, like, in particular, Chargers' defensive playbook has been, like, a highly suggested C4, use this for a meta 3-4 playbook. And, like, a lot of our losses, we're putting up, like, giving up 30-plus points. So, I'm not too sure what's going on here. But is what it is. At least this is happening year one and not year 5. So, let's take a look at some contracts here. Knowing that we're underperforming, though, that always kind of stings a little bit. And boy, oh boy, do we have no money. We're going to get a little bit of influx with the salary cap going up at season's end. But, I mean, Kendrick's, that's a rental, right? We got Jerry Jeudy. Don't really, like, I can't even offer him a deal until, we're going to have to, like, his Jeudy. I'd say Jeudy and Kenneth Murray are, like, the two that I would want to prioritize. Looks like we can get Kenneth Murray here. Let's offer him a 4-year deal. Get him for the remainder rebuild. Absolute bargain. And I guess he wants more money. But, yeah, those are the two I want to keep for sure. We close out year one on a gigantic win streak, finishing the season 10-7, second place in the division, but good enough to buy a ticket to the show. Wildcard round against the Buffalo Bills. Okay. Good start. Looking at the award leaders. Look at that. Jahmyr Gibbs, number 3 for the rushing leaders, have taken over where Austin Ekeler left off. Justin Herbert played like a top 5 quarterback. 5th in yards, 5th in touchdowns. 5,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, 9 picks. Awesome. Jahmyr Gibbs, 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns. And that's running the football. And he's a superstar dev trait, which is awesome. And with that year, might get offensive rookie of the year, which could be an X factor. So maybe not that big of a gap between Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. Keenan Allen went over 1,000 yards, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns for Jerry Jeudy. Yet to get a contract extension, which we hope to be able to offer to him once, obviously the salary cap increase goes up. Everett was solid. Mike Williams kind of on the outside looking in, and decent production for Gibbs out the backfield. Over 2,000 yards for scrimmage rookie year. That's pretty good. Eric Kendricks on the team with over 100 tackles. Same with Kenneth Murray on the sacks front. 13.5 sacks for Khalil Mack. Joey Bosa just Not good. Honestly, that's not good at all for a player of his caliber. On the interception front, Derwin James led the team with 3 picks. Taking a look at the yearly awards, MVP goes to Tanner McKee because it's the Bucks. Justin Herbert coming in at number 5. AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Not just rookie. Player. Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's go. That's, he's getting his dev. He's also Offensive Rookie of the Year. Congratulations. He's got 3 awards under his belt, and it's only year 1. So again, as long as we don't lose Jerry Jeudy, as long as we can pay him, that trade is definitely going to work out more in favor of the Chargers and the Broncos, who went below 500 this season. But for us, let's take a look at the playoff run here. Starts wild card against the Buffalo Bills, and one and done. I mean, it was impressive that we went on a hot enough win streak to make the playoffs, to be the 6th seed in the AFC, but generally speaking, I had no expectations given our slow start, given the fact that it definitely did feel like anytime we played a good team, we lost, and then we beat the teams we were expected to beat. And that happens every now and again in a rebuild, and that usually means you're not going to go far in the playoffs, which is unfortunately what happened here. But let's just admire how good Jahmyr Gibbs was his rookie season and get into the offseason. God damn, man. It's been a minute since I've seen 5 skill points to spend on a player. And as you can see, he got the X factor. We're going to give him a much better ability than that. What's that? Max security? Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's try to get something that's actually like Jahmyr Gibbs style. He's a receiving back, has great speed. Looking good. I mean, you could make the argument we should spend some of these points into the scheme fit here for the Chargers. But I just think we'll worry about that once he's 99 in the elusive back category. We got a nice +1 speed there as well. Up to he started at 94 for speed acceleration, up to 95. Now let's give him something better than max security. I mean, you could go first one free. Satellite makes sense. Ankle breaker makes sense. We obviously can't get freight train, is probably the best. We'll go first one free for the time being. But what a draft pick Jahmyr Gibbs has been for the Chargers. And looking at the rest of the roster, surprisingly, I mean, sometimes it just happens. Keenan Allen did not lose his X factor. I mean, he had a good year, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, but I've seen it happen, right? So I'm happy that he stays as an X factor. Obviously, Gibbs now, dominant season. No other depth traits to report. Defensively, let's see. Khalil Mack somehow kept his X factor. That's surprising. Bosa lost his. He's down to superstar. And I don't think any other... Oh, J.C. Jackson lost his superstar dev as well for an underwhelming season from our defense. So we did get our influx when the salary cap went up, and we're going to have to overpay Jerry Jeudy here a little bit. I'm going to offer him 4-year, 64, which is well above his market value to make sure he doesn't test the open market, and he is coming back with our 14 remaining. Honestly, Kendrick's... I'll take like a 1 year. That'd be pretty cool. Because, he's going to be better than pretty much anybody that would be available to us. So we are going to go into this offseason. In terms of like new holes that have unfortunately been created, we still need to address the D-line. And I think we're going to have to find a new tight end potentially. All right, it's now draft time at pick 23 in the draft. Couple positions we could go to. First was tight end. Doesn't look like a particularly strong tight end class. Doesn't look bad, but doesn't look like there's a stud or anything crazy like that. We could go on the defensive line, and, we got Donovan Randall out of Alabama. Fits our scheme, right? Elite strength, what you're looking for. But the rest of the athleticism, I'm a little worried. And I think D-tackle, I feel pretty good about D-tackle. We have 2 of those, this is what we scouted going into the year. And there's a great value pick here on late day 3. Jaleel McAllister. Yes, he's a nose tackle. 330-plus pound guy that are always studs. He's a first, second-round talent in day 3. So that's going to be a player. There's also another one here in Ben Rose. Probably draft him as well if we really want to. But again, not really seeing anything that maximizes his first round pick. But at safety, we got JT Woods, who I really do like out of Baylor. But there's just a long way to go for his development. And I was kind of more so on the side of if he gets a depth trait, sure. If not, we'll probably need to move on. And there is 3 legit looking safeties here. We got 30 seconds to make a call. We have Alex Ridley, who looks pretty solid. Not a ridiculous athlete by any means. We have Jason Turner out of South Carolina. Similar kind of build. But I think the best of the bunch here, and the guy that we're going to go in with, is Pat Blake out of Ohio State. Just, again, kind of just the best stats to meet the best athlete. And he pops with a depth trait, and he's going to be a day 1 starter for us alongside Derwin James. So for tight end, that's another position we want. We let Gerald Everett walk to free agency. And yeah, we got some guys. We don't really have a guy. I'm going to take a look here at Larry Crockett in the second round. He's a third, fourth round projection. The D route running kind of sucks, but we got the double A's. He is a scheme fit for us. And athletically speaking, we got the elite agility, second in the 40-yard dash, first in the 3-cone, second in the 20-yard shuttle at the NFL Combine. I'm just hoping here we get a dev trait. If not, it's going to be Cheeks. But he does have the dev trait, which gives him an advantage over all the other developmental tight ends right now on our roster. Great pick. And really kind of our last big pick of the draft. It is time to get our value. I'm just going to get it right now in the third round. Don't want anyone jumping for him. And that is Jaleel McAllister. 40 reps on the bench press. Elite strength. Ooh, no dev. All right, maybe we'll actually come back in the next round and grab that other nose tackle. Maybe he has a dev trait. Come on, Ben Rose. Pretty much the same guy. We got 8 tackle, 39 reps. He put up 43 at the Combine. Ooh, no dev either. All right, so take a look at our draft recap. In the first round, we got ourselves a very nice safety, Pat Blake, 75 with that hidden dev. Now, we are going to shift him here to free safety. Don't think that should have any impact on his rating, but I have been wrong before. Stays at 75, which is good. Crockett, 74 hidden dev. Way better than expected given his stats, but he did have the double A, I guess, and was a great athlete. Jaleel McAllister, 73 normal, and Ben Rose, 71 normal, making up our 2 freakishly massive defensive tackles. And then kind of close out the rest of the draft. We got Glenn Borrell, MVS here. Mississippi Valley State. Isn't that where Jerry Rice went? I'm not gonna lie, just completely guessing on that one. But either way, great draft class. And honestly, probably 3 rookies are starting from this right away in year 2. We got some trade offers for Josh Palmer, but honestly, my Canadian bias and the fact that these trades suck, I'm going to keep them. And we're looking a lot better than the midway point of year 2, 7-3. It's a 3-way tie atop the NFC West between us, the Raiders, and the Broncos. Let's take a look at some contracts here. It's going to be very expensive because it is time to pay the man, Justin Herbert. And of course, for just no reason whatsoever, he has zero desire to stay here, even though we offered him $398 million. $398 million. Maybe it takes 400 to get that one done. Prioritizing who's next is definitely Asante Samuel, in my opinion. So let's see if we can get him signed. And then everyone else is just kind of those veterans on a very... Wow. Literally no one gives a shit about what we're doing here. I guess Mike Williams, but like that's not... This contract's not even really going to age particularly well, but we'll keep him here in the building. We got Keenan Allen, who I guess we'll try to do fan service here and have him retire as a Charger. Again, he's a slot guy. Slot guys can tend to age more gracefully, but I think we move on from Khalil Mack. Kendricks, again, 2-year deal, looking for that. We got to save some money somewhere. Yeah, I think honestly right now, it's getting the Sunday Samuel and Justin Herbert contracts across the line, however much more money that's going to take. How about $410 million, Justin Herbert? There we go. That's all it took. And giving him $500,000 more was enough to get Asante Samuel to sign on the dotted line for the next 5 seasons. Year 2 for the Chargers. Another very competitive AFC West. We come 3rd, but luckily that was still good enough to squeak into the playoffs. But much like last year, we met the Bills. We got the Bengals this time, and they are also very good. Very tough team. Not a team that I would rage if we get one and done, because they're very good. It's just kind of what happens. But also, we're an 87 overall. We have an advantage. We have more talent. Let's put it all to use here. Looking at our stats in year 2, slight drop off in terms of yards for Herbert, but 42 touchdowns, amazing. Jahmyr Gibbs, baller, 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns. Imagine what it would look like if he didn't get vultured 8 times by Isaiah Spiller at the backfield. But I mean, like that, the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs is pretty much copy and paste that kind of stat line, feel pretty good about it. Crockett, a rookie tight end, 800 yards, 5 tutties. Really, if your name wasn't Jerry Jeudy, didn't really eat here this season, but Jerry Jeudy, outstanding. And I guess in terms of age, we really do need him to continue to ascend. And this might be good enough to get him a superstar dev. He's on a star right now. 77 catches, almost 1,500 yards, 17 touchdowns. Ridiculous production. On the defensive side, over 100 tackles for both Kendricks and Murray. Sack production, not bad. Joey Bosa picked it up. 14 TFLs, 15 sacks with Khalil Mack. Really, it's his final year here in LA. Bosa needs to be playing like this more often, more consistently. 4 picks, J.C. Jackson leading the team, and I remember he got Defensive Player of the Week one week. That was 3 of his 4 picks came in one game, but we'll take it. Doesn't matter how the sausage is made, as long as we get some turnovers, makes you feel pretty good. Lamar Jackson is now on the Panthers, and he was the MVP. Justin Herbert coming in at number 6. Quickly looking through the rest of the awards. Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver of the year. So I feel pretty confident Jerry Jeudy will go up to a superstar dev, which is huge for our wide receiver room, because likely we're going to be losing the X factor almost guaranteed on Keenan Allen. So having someone that can be our go-to guy next season, it's going to be great. And we're one down in the playoffs again, because that's just kind of how this rebuild's going right now. But we spent a little upgrade here for Jerry Jeudy at season's end. We can be appreciative of the fact that he is now a Goldie boy. And somehow Keenan Allen does not lose his X factor. Take it, man. Not being as harsh there. We're definitely going to make Jerry Jeudy, though, our new wide receiver one. We're going to go Jeudy, Mike Williams on the outside, Keenan Allen likely in the slot next season. As it relates for the rest of the dev traits, no one else up or down. Crockett was our hidden dev tight end. He popped with a star dev. On the defensive side of the football, don't think we had any dev traits up or down. Khalil Mack kept his X factor, but he's hitting the open market. Bosa X factor. I mean, I wasn't expecting anyone to go. And Blake was our hidden dev rookie in the first round. He is also a star dev. So going into the offseason, though, we are going to need 2 defensive ends. We're going to need to find a Khalil Mack replacement. I mean, we could maybe go Benito for a rental and see if he can go up dev trade or not, depending on what's available in the draft, because we don't have a lot of money to make a big impact in free agent. I think we have about $17 million salary cap. So likely we're going to go into the draft needing an edge rusher, needing a 3-4 defensive end here. You know, you can make the argument, you know, it might not be the worst thing to start stockpiling wide receivers with the regression here of Allen and Williams looming. But hopefully we can find ourselves an edge. I'll say this, if I can get Khalil Mack back here for $4.7 million, you could do a lot worse. That's honestly a third of the price I thought it was going to cost. So for free agency, we barely any money. Had to go cheap. I'm going to get Milton Williams, formerly of the Eagles. Outstanding athlete. One of the best athletes at D-tackle. He's going to transition to one of our defensive ends to replace either Sebastian Joseph Day or just Fox on the other side. But he's going to start. All right, so looking at the draft. Positions of need. Well, we need pass rush. We could go defensive line. Best defensive line available. And it doesn't look like it's it looks like a strong safety class. Does not look like a strong D-line class. We have Jordan Woods here at the end. Again, whelmed. You'd like to see, you know, something that stood out there athletically with, you know, the crapshoot of the actual grades. I scouted D-tackle again because, again, you can shuffle D-tackles around, especially when you're doing a front 3. And pretty weak draft class at D-tackle. Pass rush. Well, Vernon Newman is someone we did scout. He is first rounder, but again, pretty whelming stats. Does have elite acceleration. You know, if there's nothing else there, we might just say screw it and draft him. How bad? It's almost, and that's almost just like, how bad could it be? Type rating. Middle linebacker, we're hurting there as well with letting Eric Kendricks go. We have the double A here on Eli Casey at a Clemson. A block shed, A pursuit. Combine, is not what you're looking for at all. Markeel Willis has the B zone coverage. Don't have nearly as much information, but a pretty electrifying athlete. Richard Esparza, he looks pretty decent as well. B block shed. Ooh, he might be our best guy because we can just kick him in starting middle linebacker. We do have double A's there. Pressing, it's pressing catch. Looks like an outstanding draft class for safeties. All these safeties look ridiculous. Oh, it's almost like, can I move this guy to linebacker? Okay, no, screw it. We're going to go with Esparza at linebacker. He is going to be our Eric Kendricks replacement. Let's go. And looking at our draft recap, wasn't a good draft. Wasn't a strong draft. Wasn't like there was a lot of guys that we missed. Got a nice depth here. And Ricky Foote, hidden dev center, just because Lindsey could retire at any moment. At anybody's like 33, 34. And then we have Esparza, who is a 73 hidden dev at outside linebacker. I wonder if his rating will jump up when he moves to middle linebacker. It might not. He goes from 73, 72. But I think him and Kenneth Murray will be nice for us in the middle of our defense. Year 3 for the Chargers. Here's how our offense is shaping up. Offensive line is ready to run it back. Pretty much No new starters. We didn't have any money to really make any investments on the offense. Right now, our investment in the offense is retaining the talent that we have. But we do have a new superstar in Jerry Jeudy, and hopefully this is only the beginning of his development into an X factor. Defensively, though, is where we have a little bit of change. Esparza is our first-round pick that's going to start at middle linebacker with Kenneth Murray. A little bit of change on the front three. Jaquelin Roy and Milton Williams are going to be our defensive ends with McAllister there. Rest of the secondary is ready to run it back. Let's go ahead and be great here this season, fellas. Midway of year 3, and man, the Raiders are. This is like a couple rebuilds in a row. The Raiders have been just really annoying, really annoying. But we're 6-1. We're right there with them. And the last couple rebuilds, we've got better, like late in the season. So I'm kind of hoping that kicks in here, and we finish up the year out strong, have a chance to remain the top. We haven't got a divisional title yet. So we have Sawyer here at left guard. Absolutely want to pay him, keep him here. Ride your lineman into the ground, ladies and gentlemen. So we're offering him a 4-year deal. Gonna have to get him to sign on the dotted line. Left guard is handled. Bosa, I mean, might as well just start with the expensive ones. Let's get Bosa here after last season, taking over the reins as our premier rusher over Khalil Mack. Get him here for the long term. Let's get Rashawn Slater, absolute franchise tackle at left tackle. Now the money is definitely starting to dry up here a little bit. $38 million. Corey Lindsey, we can honestly let him walk because we drafted a hidden dev center. Khalil Mack, that is just, that's an absolute bargain at that price. Maybe we can get him right before the final window. I'll pay him $4 million. I'll pay him $5 million bucks. You know, we might even go as high as $5 million bucks. Zion Johnson, I did pick up his 5th-year option because I knew we could probably offer him a long-term extension and just get that done with while it's still reasonably cheap. 4 years, $26 million. And we're just keeping all these young, developmental, still upsidey pieces on the offensive line here all together. And I think that's good for now, and maybe we'll reevaluate Khalil Mack at season's end. Unreal, man. Year 3, we're 13-4, still no divisional title. Every year that we've been good, which has been all these years. But also, you know what? Needs to be understood. You're in the AFC West. It's the toughest division in football. Most talented division in football. So throwing all that in a Madden sim, it is what it is, man. 13-4 is not too bad. And we're playing well. We haven't had a dip off in production yet. So maybe year 4 and year 5, we could target that AFC West title. Right now, I want a playoff victory. We are 2 playoffs appearances in this rebuild. 2 years in, 2 losses, 1 and done. We're looking for that first win. Maybe we'll come this year against the 11-6 Cleveland Browns. Looking at how our team performed. Justin Herbert, pretty good. 4,800 yards, 39 touchdowns to 5 picks. That's actually really good. On the rushing standpoint, 1,600 yards, 17 touchdowns to Jahmyr Gibbs. Ridiculous. Jerry Jeudy, great season, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 9-9 for Crockett, 9-9 for Keenan Allen, 9-10 for Mike Williams, 500 yards out the backfield for Jahmyr Gibbs. Murray and Esparza, both over 100 tackles, 15 sacks from Bosa, 9 from Khalil Mack, 8 from Jaquelin Roy, 7 from Milton. I mean, I'm happy with those numbers, honestly. Interceptions, 4 picks, Kenneth Murray leading the team. Holloman, who's like a UDFA or something crazy like that, 3 picks. He's our slot corner. Look at the yearly awards. MVP goes to Josh Allen with Justin Herbert, runner-up for the MVP. So keep that in mind. Runner-up for the MVP when we inevitably score like 7 points in this playoff game. Looking for the individual awards. No love whatsoever to any of the Chargers, but that's fine because all our focus is on the team and achieving a team win here in the wild card round. Or are we going to start this rebuild 0-3? 0-3. Number 2 offense. Number 4 defense. Can't fucking find a way to win. Awesome. Year 4. Let's go. And taking a peek at our team at season's end, clearing out our lockers as the Bills, spoiler, Bills went on to win the Super Bowl. Keenan Allen lost his X Factor, but Crockett at tight end gained a superstar dev, which is nice. We got Lindsey walk, so this is kind of what our offense will look like next season with Foot at center. On the defensive side of the football, dev traits, not seeing any up or out. Milton Williams went from normal to a star dev. Awesome. And everyone else remains the same. As Sparza was hidden dev, and he popped as a star dev. Seeing as how we're $9 million in the hole right now for our salary cap, we're not going to be able to offer a contract to Khalil Mack. We're not going to be able to offer a contract to anybody. And after a couple budget cuts, the one that we're going to have to make, unfortunately, just so that we can even field the team next season, Keenan Allen. Gonna have to go. Unfortunately, the legend, he's gonna have to make the ultimate sacrifice so the Chargers can play football next season. Thank you for your service, Keenan Allen. But that's a very expensive wide receiver 3. Okay, I'm not the biggest fan, especially given our salary cap to trade up, but moving on from Keenan Allen, there is a wide receiver that's projected to go 13th somehow, even though he's top 5 projection. I don't know how. 4 ace, Jeremiah Stallworth. Maybe not the best combine, but I think it's time to make a move in the draft. Be aggressive in the draft. That is the guy I want. Oh, psych, he just went fucking first overall. Unreal. What? The mock drafts are on like 9. Like, I don't think I've ever actually seen that big of a discrepancy. Maybe like a pick or 2, maybe a pick or 3. Not some guy going 13th, ends up going first overall, man. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Now we're stuck here. You know? Shit end of the stick. Didn't get my hopes up for any other draft pick. Yep. Yeah, that's our draft right here. I mean, that's actually not that bad for a D-tackle. Don't even need a D-tackle. I need a wide receiver. I need somebody right away. I mean, I guess we also need a pass rusher. And it looks like we're not getting much help here in terms of the pass rush department to replace Khalil Mack. Kevin Hayward. How did that wide receiver... How? 13th? This guy's a great... I guess we'll go with this guy. Hey, dev trait. Cool. Still can't believe that wide receiver went first. Last mock draft projected to go 13th. So look at our draft recap. Honestly, not brutal return for just like panic picking. Hayward is a 72. And what does he go to when we move him to Khalil Mack spot at right outside linebacker? I don't know if his rating is going to take too big of a hit. Maybe a down a point. Ooh, 2-point hit for Hayward, which kind of sucks. We got Kyle Barbieri, 74 wide receiver in the second round, only a normal dev. Because we made so much stink about it, what is that wide receiver? Yeah, 81 overall. Can only imagine is probably what, generational? 80 superstar X Factor? It's got to be superstar X Factor, right? Oh, it's superstar. Still, I would have traded. If I knew that, I probably would have traded all my picks to get that first overall to get him. Year 4 for the Chargers, and it's our first season life beyond Keenan Allen. Barbieri is that wide receiver 3, but I do think we're going to have to rely a little bit more on our new superstar tight end here in Crockett. It's going to be a Crockett, Mike Williams, Jerry Jeudy with, Gibbs is as well, like a very nice receiver out of the backfield. Those are going to be our primary pass catchers. Foot gets the start here at center after moving on from Lindsey, so there is some transition going on the offensive side of the ball. Same with the defense. Hayward, start at, hey, massive shoot. Hey, you just got to be Khalil Mack, buddy. No pressure. Just be Khalil Mack. As we enter year 4 being still a ridiculously good team looking for... This is the Bengals rebuild all over again. Juggernaut team, plays very well throughout the regular season and can't buy a playoff win to save our life. Coming up from our bye week, awesome. We suck this year. Cool. Definitely peaking at the right time in year 4 to be bullshit trash. $88 million worth of salary cap. Let's see what we can do. We're going to do some due diligence on keeping our secondary together. First up, Derwin James. Then we have J.C. Jackson, who's been solid. We'll just give him a 2-year deal, maybe to lessen the salary cap hit a little bit. We got 58 left. Jalen Duncan at tackle. He's been solid. That's reasonable money for a 79 overall, who's only going to get better. Milton Williams also, I think after his playing production last season, have no problem whatsoever giving him a 2-year deal. Everybody else, though, can piss off. And we're going to take that $44 million plus whatever we get from the increase in salary cap, and we are spending for year 5. In year 4, we didn't even make the playoffs. Perfect time. I got to go get my kid from school, so it's a nice little hour for me to take a walk and try to retool, reconfigure myself and this team before we get into year 5. What went wrong? Oh, let's just see. Justin Herbert sucked. Jahmyr Gibbs was amazing, but Justin Herbert sucked. Jerry Jeudy played well. I don't know, maybe he's crushed with the loss of Keenan Allen. But also, he's the one that took $700 trillion infinity billion dollars to sign on the dotted line. That's why we couldn't pay Keenan Allen. Defensively, Joe Bosa played very well. 16.5 sacks. Interceptions, pretty much non-existent. I don't even care about the awards. We don't have a single award winner. What a joke of a season for a almost 90 overall team. Here's what you do when you're raging and you have so much money available. Jeffrey Simmons, welcome to LA. Derek Brown, welcome to LA. Marlon Humphrey, welcome to LA. Hunter Renfrow, welcome to LA. I will just say before we get in the draft, wasn't all doom and gloom. Kevin Hayward, who we drafted last year, was underwhelming, kind of a throw and see what sticks to the wall type pick after a wide receiver got taken. He got defensive rookie of the year, and he's superstar. So that's all right. That's a win. That's a win. I think for our final first round pick, trying to find a hit, man. We haven't had like a big S tier type draft. Maybe if we were able to go get that wide receiver, maybe. So I'm kind of looking here. Defensive line. Milton Williams lost his dev trait. We have Bo Duhan, who looks kind of good. But this guy, I'm intrigued by. Morris Carruthers out of LSU. B finesse, A power, B tackle. He's a rusher. Should be able to transition to defensive end. Good athlete. Maybe not great athlete. And, not what we were looking for. Considering, like, in that Bengals rebuild that we did, we had 4 straight drafts of X Factors. I don't think we've had one guy that we've drafted above a superstar outside of Jahmyr Gibbs. Does that even count? And draft recap. I mean, value. A couple guys in the 70s. None of them are going to be game changers for us in this final year. So we had our 5th and final year as a 90 overall team. Absolutely should be Super Bowl contenders, even though we've yet to do a damn thing in the playoffs. Justin Herbert, 99. Jahmyr Gibbs, who so much focus was on early on because we moved on essentially from Austin Ekeler to him. Outstanding. Jerry Jeudy's up to a 92 superstar. We got Mike Williams, 86. Hunter Renfrow, who we signed kind of as a mercenary here to play our slot wide receiver spot. Offensive line is very good. Really been like the same unit for quite some time outside of center, which I do like. Crockett's developed nicely, 87 superstar tight end. Best tight end Chargers have had since the great Antonio Gates. Hey, did you guys know he played basketball? Look at the defense. We got Derek Brown, Jeff Simmons, and Milton Williams on our front 3. Bosa, Murray, Esparza, and superstar Hayward, which is a nice little boost. Derwin James and Blake at safety. Asante Samuel Jr., Marlon Humphrey, and the now normal dev J.C. Jackson makes up our secondary where, I mean, this team here doesn't have any weakness whatsoever. The reality is we should be 13, 14 wins minimum here in year 5. At least they gave us a shot here in year 5. 9-8, completely underwhelming, which has been, like, we're going to lose this first game of the playoffs. This is going to be a rebuild that makes me just say the Chargers are cursed because we are and have been a top 3 team in the league, and we have yet to get a single playoff victory. And we've had inconsistent results. Justin Herbert has been, like, steadily fairly solid to, and by solid in sim terms means if this was real life, Justin Herbert would be, like, almost, you know, Pro Bowl, All-Pro alternate every single year. 4,600 yards, 37 touchdowns is great. Jahmyr Gibbs has been sensational in this rebuild. That's been one of the good things, is that, like, clearly he was a featured player in this rebuild. We did the big Ekeler trade, and he has definitely lived up to the hype. He's been awesome. Jerry Jeudy is also part of that trade, has been awesome. 97 catches, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, leading the team. On the defensive side of things, Kenneth Murray, big time, maybe you argue a breakout year. 152 tackles. Jeff Simmons, 13 TFLs, 12.5 sacks. Derek Brown, 23 TFLs, 7.5 sacks. Bosa's production fell off a cliff. Is what it is. Interceptions, anytime Joey Bosa is tied for first. Not good enough. Yearly awards. MVP goes to Nick Nolan on the Detroit Lions. I don't even think we're going to have anyone that even makes... Oh, actually, I'll take that back. Best running back goes to Jahmyr Gibbs. Thank you very much. But here we go. Playoff run. Can we get any form of victory? Or is this just going to be literally, I don't want to say a waste of time rebuild, because everyone gets rebuild here on the C4 YouTube Madden franchise rebuild channel. Oh, we handle business at least. But, you know, again, you're not going to win them all. Sometimes you spend 45 minutes, and I spend like the better part of a whole day, and you just don't get anything done. And that's kind of where we're at. But luckily, we start this playoff run out outstandingly well. Bad English. 45. That's like letting out 4 years of failures out in one game. Hopefully, we didn't just, for lack of a better term, blow our load. And I'm, of course, referencing, like, you know, ammunition and not anything else. That is outstanding from Justin Herbert. 267 yards, 5 touchdowns, over 100 yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. Mike Williams standing out for us. And we're moving on to the next round where we get to take on the Cleveland Browns. And, like, I'm looking at the board here. Not a lot of, like, cheesy teams left. Like, if we can kind of navigate our way, like the Dolphins and Patriots, we should feel fairly confident. Even on the other side, I mean, the Panthers are kind of cheesy, I guess. But there's a lot open for us to go on a little bit of a run here. So now we have the Cleveland Browns in the divisional round. AFC Championship game on the line. And it's close, but we're able to handle business 28-25 in this matchup. Is it Herbert still playing? I mean, 2 interceptions is still bad, but he has 9 touchdowns in his 2 playoff games this year, which we will take. And we'll hop in and play the moments against the New England Patriots, a team that I feel like, gotta remember back in the day, I feel like during the LT, Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates Chargers, the Patriots, it was the peak Brady. They were kind of like the Grim Reaper at the time the Chargers saw them in the playoffs. Now it's time as a 91 overall team taking on an 82 overall team. We go to the Super Bowl. Maybe Snow will be the great equalizer, but again, Snow's just always, pushed to the team that's better running the football. We have a 99 X-Factor running back and an offensive line that's one of the best in the AFC. So if there's going to be any team that gets this advantage, I'll take the California team in the Snow. Well, looking at it, it's pretty low scoring. It's going to be maybe what defense wants some more. We get a nice go-ahead touchdown there, trying to keep them at the end zone to go to halftime with the lead, which we do hold to a field goal. Opening drive of the second half, though, Patriots march down the field and get a touchdown. It is our job to go equalize right here, which we do, 21-17, but it does feel like it's going on those games. Anything we do, they do, and anything they do, it's 50-50 if we do. We're down 10. It's 4th down and 17, and man, might just be my brightness, but that field is looking super bright right now. Holy. I am squinting. I can barely see. That's how I know I'm an old man. What do we got here? Jerry Jeudy at the top of the screen. Oh, I can barely see. We're going to throw it to the cheesy tight end route over the middle of the field. Can I go no huddle to see if I can give our team a chance here? Oh, look, they're going to go down the field, score a touchdown right now. 2 minutes, 26 seconds to go. We're going to get a stop. We did get the stop. We're going to go down the field. No, we turned it over. We got a chance. 1st and 10. Oh, it's so bright. This is so, this. I don't know how this is going to look like when I edit it. Maybe this is just a shit contrast. I can't see anything. We go to Renfro. Oh, my God, he makes a catch. What a grab by Renfro. Quick. No huddle. Last play of the game. Oh, my God, we don't got any time. I hate that. I hate it, but we go to the tight end. He makes a grab. 1 second on the clock. Oh, let's go, baby. I'll promise right now, because of how much influence we have this one in the Super Bowl, we'll barely play the moments because I got our team to the Super Bowl here in this one. But outstanding job, Justin Herbert. 4 touchdowns. Chargers keep on rolling. The Super Bowl has been set, and it is 2 teams looking for postseason success for the first time in a trillion years. It is the Detroit Lions and the LA Chargers. We know the Lions have MVP quarterback this season, generated guy, but he's playing very well. We know we have Justin Herbert, who's won 99 X-Factor quarterback pretty much. So let's see where we go. And we are starting out hot. 10-zip. Detroit does get a touchdown there to avoid a shutout, but look at that turnover right there. I want to say our destiny is now because we are playing lights out in the first half, but I've seen plenty of goose eggs in my time here. If this gets a touchdown, we're up. Ooh, go for the field goal. Detroit get the first touchdown in the second half. But it does feel like every time we've touched the ball, we've got points. And that should be able to kind of keep us ahead here. Now in the 4th quarter, this would be an utter collapse if we don't end up winning this one. And it looks like there's going to be a chance here. Minute 41. And this is going over. This will be my one play that I come into because this is just ridiculous. We were up by like 20 the 4th quarter. Oh, my God. All right. I mean, maybe just throw it up, an aggressive catch, Mike Williams. That's kind of all he does. Look, he's going to be pretty much... And he drops it. Oh, my God. Yep. If you're a Lion fan watching this, congratulations. If you're a Charger fan, honestly, I feel like your team's cursed. Just incredibly underwhelming results for how good our team was. Thought you had good playbooks. Playbooks didn't really at any point in this rebuild ever impress me much. Let's look at our stats and wrap it out with somewhat of a high point. I'm not even that mad because if I didn't hop in and play as much as I did during the championship game, we wouldn't have even made the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I pretty much had to drag this Charger team to have any form of postseason success, which is never how I want to play my rebuild. It's more, I don't like it. So it's just, we tried, Treasure fans. Madden thinks you guys suck. Justin Herbert, at this point in his career, 38,000 passing yards, 278 touchdowns, 83 picks. Pretty good. Maybe a little bit below the mark of what we want, but still very, very good. Jahmyr Gibbs has been outstanding. Almost 8,000 yards rushing, 93 touchdowns in 5 seasons. Love seeing that. 9,000 yards, 68 touchdowns, Mike Williams. Jerry Jeudy, 87 yards, 68 touchdowns. Did a lot of that with us. A lot more success with the Chargers than he did with the Broncos. Renfro obviously came over from the Raiders. Crockett was solid. Defensively, Kenneth Murray, 874 tackles. We got 107 sacks from Joey Bosa. Interceptions, not a lot for our team. Honestly, I mean, the last couple of rebuilds, man, we have not been getting interceptions. Derwin James, 15 all-time, 11 for Asante Samuel Jr. But, I mean, at this point, it's like the point of reflection. Where did we go wrong? And we can't use playbooks as an excuse because, you know, that's the whole point. We're not going to make every rebuild the meta playbooks. I mean, you could argue, I don't know, could you argue like our offensive lines, we don't have any superstar, but like that's, what's the average overall of that offensive line? 85, 84, 85, somewhere in that range? That's an outstanding offensive line. Our offense, there's no complaints. Our offense is a juggernaut. Our offense should be the best offense every single year. Defensively, I mean, same can be said. I mean, this year here we did buy some mercenaries. Derek Brown, Jeff Simmons, kind of just, you know, Marlon Humphrey. But, I mean, you know, we've had for most of this rebuild, Bosa, Kenneth Murray, Derwin, Asante Samuel, J.C. Jackson. Like, we've had a good defense, good offense. Just, you know, there are some teams that just underperform in Madden, and that is the Chargers to an absolute T. So if you guys did enjoy this video, we now only have 2 teams remaining that have yet to get rebuilt in a regular sense. The Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know. I guess at this point, I got to get them done. I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to accomplish sooner than later. Is just at least have one rebuild done for every team. How to make it interesting? I mean, Dallas is definitely just like a rebuild. You can just run in and rebuild the Dallas Cowboys. But the Chiefs, because they're such a cheat code, we might need to throw something into the mix there to make that rebuild a little bit more interesting. I was kind of pondering, like, maybe we have to go 17-0. Perfect season for them to be even successful, because I'm expecting multiple Super Bowls. But then again, I expected multiple Super Bowls with the Bengals rebuild. We got 0. I expected a chance at multiple Super Bowls here with the Chargers because their team's sick. 0. Barely any playoff success. So I don't know. There's a chance that we somehow rebuild the Chiefs and don't even make the Super Bowl in 5 years, given the last couple rebuilds we've done. So that will be interesting, and I will see you guys then. Thank you very much for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out. Love you. Have a good one.